Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Tips podcast. I am your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we are here to do feedback. You had something to say about the things we had to say that nobody asked our opinion on. We just told y'all, and now we asked for your opinion, so you telling us your solicited opinions. You can leave feedback by looking in the show notes. All the stuff is there. Don't forget, live show is coming up. We're only like 2 weeks away. Okay, it's on a Saturday at 3 p.m. It's at the Night Theater, downtown Charlotte. It's gonna be a festival there. There's gonna be a beer garden. There's gonna be just a lot of fun. We're planning on doing something very special. Justin's gonna be there. You don't want to miss it. If you have to watch it in person or remote, we have both options. So go to the show notes, look at the link, click on it, buy your tickets. We love seeing the sales. It's a great way to support. You know, we pay for a photographer, so the money's gone. The money is gone, guys.
The money is spent, y'all.
We need y'all to show up, okay?
Checks have been cashed. Money has been spent.
We're already making expensive purchases, all right? This is a bad idea, but we need y'all's help. Buy the tickets. We want to see y'all. It's gonna be a fun time. I'm getting excited about it. So
what?
Yeah.
You getting excited?
Yeah, I'm excited about
That's
it.
normally me.
Well, I have a secret thing I'm gonna do, you know,
Okay.
and so you and Justin don't even know what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be a good time, and I think everybody should be there for that. All right. The official weapon of the show is
the taser.
No, it's not. It is the folding chair. And the unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
and bullet ball extreme. That's right, everybody.
Eventually the folded chair goes stick, but I mean, come on now. Work with me, people. Work with me.
I do say, you know, I noticed that I wore my WandaVision t-shirt, and then you wore your Loki t-shirt. So I appreciate you, you know, matching my flavor.
Yay!
Can he be the Kanye to my Kim?
No.
Yes, my variant. I love this t-shirt.
Anytime I step out, I'm popping flavor, I'm dripping sauce. They already know I'm coming through, shutting it down. I just want my man to be a reflection of that. Like, when they see him, can he be the Kanye to my Kim?
That's all I've been asking, and so I just appreciate you stepping your game up, okay?
Come on through, and I'm ready for season 2.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own, Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tie to the Black Guy Who Tips.
That's right.
Yes.
New day, new salary. We got some more money. These are the people that gave us money on our website. They don't expect anything but a shout out and some love.
Thank you.
Asia D, Chriselle B, Annie P, Michael S, Tom W Jr., Dana R, Bomani Jones, who it is his birthday today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
to Bomani
Bo.
Jones. We appreciate you, homie. Laura E, Noel W, Nick Z, Jane M, Pete B, Miss Barnes, Johanna M, David from Brooklyn, and Ricky, Pretty Ricky is what they call him. Douglas R, and that's everybody. Thank you so much for the money that jingles and folds. We spend it everywhere.
Yes, we do.
That part. All right. You know, we got to talk about 5-star reviews. We got a couple, and we're going to read them, and we appreciate them. You leave a 5-star review, all we ask is that it's 5 stars and it's nice, and we'll read it on the show. The 2 new ones we got: Release the Folding Chairs, 5 stars, by D Money 331. I love the morals of house tips. The show is hilarious. The opinions are spot on. Even if you don't 100% agree with their opinions, I guarantee you will learn something new from hearing it. Yeah, and we don't ask for 100% agreement.
We sure don't.
Okay, listen, all my friends got podcasts, all right? This is the new blog. If anyone thinks people have to agree with their opinion 100% of the time, they're a weird fucking narcissist that hasn't done this job very long.
Something is wrong with them.
All my friends, like I remember I was talking to Ray Sani over dinner one time, and she was like, I don't agree with everything. I'm like, I know, We've met.
Not.
We talk all the time. We never agree on everything.
Nope.
That's crazy. You know,
people have different life experiences, a lot of things.
I do just hope that people realize that we're thoughtful and to hear us out, and that this is a place for that. And that's it. Really, I can't. I assume like-minded people disagree about shit. I change my mind. Karen changes her mind. It's human. If anything, I hope people are learning not to be so fucking uptight about it. It feels like more than ever we're at a time where it's just like you disagree on something and people are like, we need to go to our separate corners and never meet again. It's just like, let that shit go.
Right. And that there are some things that I won't bend and break or break on.
Right.
But there are some things that the world of coexisting has faded away. Like, people don't believe in coexisting anymore. And I don't mean coexisting as you doing harm or passing laws. No, I mean just, I say apples, you say oranges. Motherfuckers want to pull out their swords now. You like, bitch, it ain't that important. Like, this right here, at the end of the day, it's a drop in a bucket. It ain't gonna matter, and we're not even gonna remember this conversation 3 days from now. So I don't understand the wars for the small and kind of mundane things that we just might not see eye to eye on.
They go on to say, if you're a new listener, I highly recommend purchasing tickets to their live show. I promise you won't regret it. Thank you, Ryan and Karen, for your hard work and dedication. I hope everyone that leaves a bad 1-star review gets hit with some of that good old Alabama folding chair justice. Always with love, David. Yes, I always hit them with the folding chair with love, obviously.
Come on, with love.
You never want to leave with hate. Love them. This is from Karen for Good. Who says,
shit, Karen's in the house.
The Karen Hunter Show. This is why Karen's going on right now.
Come on.
The Karen Hunter. I'll tell you, I'm big with Black Karens.
Karen trifecta.
I'm big in the Black Karen community. The Karen Hunter Show turned me on to the Blackout Tips podcast this year. I love these two. I love their podcast. Prepping for my recent 5-hour flight, I downloaded my faves, the Blackout Tips, This American Life, and Snap Judgment. I never did figure out how to download an entire episode of Frontline. Shrug. Anywho, as you can see, I roll with the big dogs. I like my funny, my facts check, and my storytelling tight and compelling. I do not miss an episode of Blackout Tips. Thank you, couple. Love y'all. God bless you in your endeavors. Can't wait to tune in to old episodes of your show. Shameless plug written with hip hop's birthday in mind. Hey, yo, Black Karens are fly and always funky fresh.
Come on through, funky fresh Karens.
Yeah, it is interesting because, like, I don't think anyone ever considered the Black Karens to be part of it. Like, they were never in it anyway.
Right.
Like, honestly.
Stand up the brand.
If a Black woman named Sharita started calling the cops on kids for selling lemonade, we would call her a Karen. That's how bad it is.
That's
like
how bad it is.
Black Karens is just not really even involved in this whole situation. It's really just they caught some strays in it, but yeah.
Now why am I in it? That's how I felt the whole time.
All right. Let's move into the comments on the website. All right. The first episode of the week was 2756. 1-star D's nuts. We're going to talk about the comments on the website, the comments on YouTube, the comments on Spotify.
YouTube back in the house. Shout out to y'all. Y'all had to miss a whole week.
Yeah. You still rocking with us on YouTube. You're a real one. All right. The comments. We got 5 of them. The first one's from
Appia.
Appia says, I get what you say that most words are not the N-word, but the German word for gypsy I would not use. For an example, I would most likely call it the Z word in Germany. The word gypsy is completely different from it, so it felt safe enough. It feels extremely wrong to say German version, so it might be a close one. Shakira had a song named Gypsy. It had these beautiful lyrics, because I'm a gypsy, are you coming with me? I might steal your clothes and wear them if they fit me. Never made agreements, just like a gypsy. All the stereotypes, and she didn't get in trouble, so it must be different in America. It's definitely different in America. Did she get in trouble in Germany though? Like, is she banned from coming to Germany? Like, what's
Right.
the rules on that?
Yeah, because I think Americans kind of view that completely.
We definitely
different.
do.
Yeah.
But also, like, I'll take your word for it. I don't live there. I don't know shit about Germany. So if you say it's y'all's close to the N-word, sure. But I just know that from my experience, people want to have something that is the N-word
too.
in a marginalized community, and a lot of times it's just not the same. You know, there's a lot of history with it. Appia says, I absolutely believe in climate change and how dangerous it is, but when all the predictions for the summer of 23 were that it would be the hottest and driest ever, and we get a really cold, extremely wet one, I start to think that humans are terrible at prediction that weather at the time is too complex.
I know over here in America, we breaking motherfucking records, so it's raining where you are, but it's hot out here.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think the climate change people, scientists can point out how it's not just heat. And it doesn't matter how many times they point it out, people they associate global warming, climate change with just hot weather. And they don't count the fucking extreme amount of like hurricanes we're getting. They don't count
of them, like they're stronger than they ever been before. They don't count the warming of the water, which kills, the coral reefs, which kind of helps a lot of the flooding and shit like that. They don't associate.
Well, see, I think the warming of the water counts to them because it's hot. I'm saying I'm trying to think of other things that's not just heat related. Like when you think about a storm, you think about winds and water, but that's also climate change in this heat. When you think about even the snow they got in Texas that shut everything down, that's also related to climate change. So I think people oversimplify it into just if it's hot and dry, that's what climate change is, but it's a whole planet. So in some places it's going to be different adverse effects from their weather compared to other places on the other side of the globe.
That's true too. And also when you talk about climate change, you're also talking about the seasons sometimes get screwed up. Like, plants are blooming before they're supposed to. That's part. People don't consider that part of climate change, but that's part of climate change too.
Yeah, all that stuff.
So they just go, oh, we ain't got no olives no more. Oh, all the apples died. Yeah, that's a part of climate change too.
And yeah, the crops and stuff, all that stuff is affecting all kinds of stuff all over the globe. Abia also goes, yes, I meant that Jesus seemed rather chill, and of course the hardcore evangelical Christians are not about that. He said, love your enemy and help the poor and stuff like that. I don't go to church anymore, but was raised very Christian, so I know most things Jesus said sound very different from the evangelicals. Agreed. Brooklyn Shoebay says, when I was really into going to church in the early 2000s, I learned that turn the other cheek was an insult, showing the person that the slap is so weak that they can smack the other side without causing pain. That's interesting. I feel like, maybe that's how it was taught in y'all's church. But to me, it was always shown as like a, not just like a show of like you're weak, but a show of like piousness, a show of, peace and opposite of belligerence and tolerance. And that like, it was like, you slap me in my face, I'll let you slap me again because I'm that dedicated to peacefulness, but yeah, I didn't learn it the way you did of it meant, you weak ass nigga, that ain't shit,
Right. And also it's one of those things too, where, if you really want to get down to it, they also talk about violence, take things violently. Like, Jesus in there turning over tables and shit. People forget that part. Everybody just be like, turn the other cheek when it's somebody else. But when it's them, they're like, I want to beat shit up.
Well, see, that's the thing though. I wouldn't go with that because one, a table violence is to me different. That's like saying burn down a CVS is violence.
Not burn down a CVS.
But it's also just the fact that the reason I wouldn't say that is because the white Christian evangelicals do believe in violence very hard.
Yes, they do.
And they would probably latch on to some like, Jesus does want us to be violent. And so I don't think that, at least the Jesus that I remember being taught when I was a kid, I just don't remember him being the way that white evangelical Christians tend to promote this violent, gun-toting, racist, and like homophobic dude. And maybe he was, and I just never got to them scriptures, but I just never saw. I just feel like the image that is promoted of Jesus and the one that people subscribe to are not the same.
Nope.
All right. Next, Hustle No Flow says, one thing about that Eminem response is that you all didn't really mention the game. I think the first part of this verse was related to interview/lyrics that the game had, the rapper, the game had done recently about being better than Eminem, and that he didn't really hear Eminem being played in clubs, and he wasn't really hot in the streets. I think he also brought up the top 5 thing. That's why M said that the reason he was played in the clubs was because he still performed in them. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that, so thank you for putting us on to that. Melly Mill also brought up the top 5 thing, and this whole thing started because Eminem was listed on one of these lists as a top 5 hip-hop act of all time, and Melly, rappers started reacting to that because they always do, and he's right. You reacting because he's white.
Right.
And because you wouldn't, like, we wouldn't say that about Nas. Nas has very little, like, true club bangers. But we would, if Nas is in the top 5, none of us would question him. We'd be like, yes, he belongs in the top 5. It's not just club songs, but you attack people in the area you can get them, and that's Eminem's area. But yeah, and also, like, the game he's not this hip hop legend. Like, dude had that one album with 50 Cent and on it that made everybody go, oh, it's more 50 Cent, but nobody really like holds him up as like this hip hop legend, and I love that album, but it's just he don't really resonate more than that. All right, do you read? Oh wait, let me check the comments on YouTube if there was. Okay, Shadow Driver 1 says, I just don't get the logic. You're choosing the best in your opinion out of 2 bad people. Neither of them get my support. One is closeted, the other is in your face. Good luck to you, man. I assume you're talking about voting for president. And I just think you're a fucking idiot, because to me, it's not choosing 2 bad people. Donald Trump is a horrible fucking criminal. And you just don't like President Joe Biden because he old or some made up silo bullshit. But to me, there's a big difference. I'm not saying everybody has to be so gung-ho about Biden. If they don't feel that way, they don't need to feel that way. But right. I feel that way about my fucking vote, and I feel that way about not letting these Republicans be in charge. So you're never gonna catch me with this apathy bullshit. So go find something else to listen to and leave me alone. Let's see. But nice trick, Ice Cube. Nice try. I didn't know you listened. The poll was, do you read comic books?
Yes.
Okay, Karen says yes. When's the last time you read a comic book?
It's been a while, but I do.
Okay, so you just say of all time, basically.
Yeah.
So,
do I read comic books? Yes. Have I read them before? Yes.
Okay. All right. That's what Karen says. Well, the poll results are the same on our site and on Spotify. 47% yes, 53% no. We got a pretty high contingent of nerds listening to this, of the comic book nerds. And then the Q&A. I'm a star. How could I not shine? Kisha says, I shine like the sun, baby. It's Toy says, how many ladies in the house? How many ladies in the house without a spouse? I miss the old Kanye so bad. Sydney says, I consider myself culturally Christian as a PK down south. I get the value, can't negate all of the harm from the crusades, slavery, politics, but y'all was preaching about that nigga Jesus on this Saturday. Yeah, definitely. I feel like if you're from, at least me, if you from down here and you black, it's impossible to not be touched by the culture of Christianity. It's just like, this is what black people do. People down south do. You go to church. Church is community for a lot of people. So it's bigger than just whether they believe or not. It's like, if they decide that they don't believe in this, they now have to go find new friends, new social networks and all this stuff.
Right.
So I get the hold it can have on people, and I also understand that a lot of good that I've seen in my life has come from churches. It's people organizing against people organizing against like even homophobia. That's done through the church in a lot of cases. So I think that's the thing. People hear that someone's like an atheist or agnostic, and then they normally, it's followed by some like anger, some emotional, like, the church did me wrong, maybe an anecdotal story or something. I don't have one of those, really. Like, that's not why I stopped going to church. It had nothing to do with like being mad at the church. Now I know that that's how some people set up boundaries. You know, they need to add an emotional level to their boundaries, or else they won't be able to keep them. So then they kind of have to be angry, and they have to get angry every time they bring it up. But I think sometimes it confuses people that I'm so adamantly like, yeah, I don't fuck with church. But also I'm not like, man, fuck them. They did this, they did that. I think there's a lot of difference in the churches, and I still don't think it's all good, even when it's a black church. So I don't, just because like white evangelicals are the worst of the worst, there's a lot of stuff in the black church I don't fuck with. And you know, same thing for like, you know, the black Muslims and stuff. There's stuff they say that I'm like, I don't know how people can in good conscience support that and feel like they're good people, you know. So there's a lot of hangups in religion I just try to avoid. Autumn W says, listening to your Joystick Angels ad and looking at a copy of it on my desk. I bought it from the creator at BlurCon this year. It's dope, and I use it for my voice acting warm-ups. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. We love some brand synergy up in here. Bianca says, I threw up in my dad's mouth once. He came home for lunch and was tossing me in the air. My mom warned him that she had just fed me. His mouth was wide open, smiling and talking to me. I'm assuming you know this story because your parents have told you this story so many times. Probably in the middle of like yelling at you about something, like, you didn't do the dishes, you threw up in my mouth.
They're gonna remind you of that shit forever.
Oh man,
because trust, you did not remember.
That is gross, and that's why you don't want to have kids. Okay,
that's why you don't shake them up, particularly after you feed them.
But honestly, you know what, worth it. He probably was like, listen, there's a bunch of times I threw you around and you didn't throw up, and those are fine. Episode 2757, Ceiling Fan Babies. So I guess you was commenting on this episode early because that wasn't even the same episode. Right? That's weird. Ceiling Fan Babies. Brooklyn Shoe Babe is the first one to comment. Damn, I thought I bought wild things to the theater, LOL. I bought in mini bottles of wine, personal pan, Pizza Hut pizzas, Popeyes fried chicken and biscuits, candy, soda, chips, LOL. Shout out to big purses, knapsacks, and cargo pants. LOL, I pass these tricks down to my children. I'm mom of the year. Each one teach one.
Hey, mom of the year.
Rona Raphael says, I almost did a voicemail, but I wasn't trying to get too emotional for these streets. Still got tickets to Africa to sell. This tossing of babies took me back to an event that happened in 1939, all the way in Kumasi, Ghana. A man who came to greet and celebrate my grandfather on his first child turning 1 tossed the baby up and missed the baby dropping it. Oh. The story claims that the baby was silent for a sec before bursting into screaming, and the culprit ran into the bushes in a panic. Now, my grandfather was a senior police officer back in the colonial days, which meant you could be fucked by fucking up his firstborn, same as now. But after they had called and sued the kids, someone brought it up that it might be a good idea to go find the guy who ran into the bushes so he doesn't attempt suicide. So a search party goes to look for him, at the same time yelling, "We not trying to harm you for real." He was found the next morning.
We not trying to harm you for real.
He was found the next morning, spent all night in the bushes. My mom was in her mid-50s when she told me the story in Nigeria, and the man who had dropped her as a baby was just living in our house. She was laughing, and I don't know, but now it's funny and makes sense why I rarely throw babies up, but have thrown at least 2 4 to 6 years old into a ceiling fan. I broke the cycle. Wait, I rarely throw babies up, but have thrown at least 2 4 to 6 year olds into a ceiling fan.
So I guess he don't throw babies, but he toss kids. Kids can get ceiling fan fucked up too.
Yeah, I count those as babies. 4 to 6 is babies still too. And
yes.
You didn't break the cycle. You broke the fan, or possibly broke the baby.
You broke the blades on the fan. The baby's got to be reset now.
I just like the idea of them running into the woods looking for that dude. Like, come on now, we not gonna jump you.
We promise.
Wangangi says, I was born in the latchkey era, but before the clear backpack era, which was the golden age of contraband. Adults expected you to live out of your backpack purse all day, so the trick was to be able to pack things in such a way as to pass inspection. Bonus for New York weather requiring outerwear for a majority of the year. To provide extra smuggle locations, this food smuggling was also easily converted to boosting capacity if one were so inclined. or if one had a reading habit that you couldn't financially support with teen resources. Jay Full says those Mississippi cops were trying to get that little boy who owed who peed outside into the system. I bet even if the charges are dropped, they're gonna keep his prints and shit on file. I think so too. And now he's got a prior arrest, which police can try to use to justify fucking with him in the future. Disgusting. Yeah, I don't know how the prior arrest thing works. Like when you're a juvenile, like if he doesn't get in any trouble and then he turns like 18, is that gonna fall away or is that gonna always be there? Because I just don't know.
Right? Can you demand that shit be taken away? Like, come on.
But as an update to that story, I saw that they did fire the police officer.
Good.
But to me, that's not. I don't give a fuck about that because y'all put that first statement out. And that first statement was justifying the police officer's actions. You just look weirdly hypocritical and like you're trying to cover your ass, firing that man days later as if you never had his back. You were explaining to us why, these are the good reasons to arrest a fucking 10-year-old. Oh, by the way, we think he may have erred in judgment, but we think it was a good idea to arrest a fucking kid for peeing outside. Get the fuck out of my face. Abia says, ceiling fans are uncommon here. Good for babies, I guess. Well, y'all probably just throw them into something else.
Right? Trust. Kids are tossing all types of shit. Human beings or something else.
I don't know what y'all do over there. EVE says, I wrote that I snuck a large pizza into the theater. I used a large Ziploc bag and stacked the slices inside of it and then put it in my bag. I used to follow a TikToker who accused the Target employee of racism. Oh, that TikTok woman. Okay. Because I like her music. But from what I've seen in the video, they were blocking the aisles and I doubt she asked permission.
Right.
I've been in a flash mob in a grocery store before and the coordinator got permission first, but it was too cumbersome to do it inside the store. So we had to do it in the parking lot. I think the accuser was just triggered because she has been the target of racist attacks before because of her style of music. I just don't think this was it for this particular time around. I agree.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, there are some things that are flat out racism. Then there's sometimes, no, your race ain't got nothing to do with it.
Comments on YouTube. Heart emoji from the home I create. She loves just throwing us a heart on there, and we appreciate it. Chocolate Lady Cap 2773 says, I believe overproof rum is like 150%. Yeah, I think we found out on the show because I looked it up, but yeah. And SFA says, Rod, I made a mistake. Hey, players mess up. Me. Finally, he's about to correct one of the most egregious errors he made in quite some time. Rod, I forgot doing it for the gram. Me. Damn it. Maybe next time. I don't even know what error you're talking about. Like, I don't even know. I mean, wasn't that egregious enough? I love doing it for the gram. What a mistake. I won't forget today, by the way. I have the tabs up. The poll was, have you ever tossed a kid into a ceiling fan? Yes, by accident. Yes, on purpose. Or not yet.
Apparently mine is not yet. I don't.
Yeah, you never know. You might
plan on tossing baby.
Well, Karen, has anyone planned on tossing a baby into the ceiling fan?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, 10% have 10%. Because 6% say yes by accident. 10% say yes on purpose. They threw a baby into a ceiling fan on purpose. Now, I hope they're just trying to be funny.
Right? I was hoping y'all ain't hurting the kid.
Damn, you evil. And 84% say not yet. On Spotify, the people with the money, yes by accident, 5%. On purpose, 2%. So less of them think it's funny to say that. And I made it an option, so it's really on me. And 93% say not yet. So we'll see what happens, in the
future. You don't know what the future may call between you, a baby, and a ceiling fan.
And I apparently forgot to do a Q&A on Spotify for this one, so it's hilarious, guys. All right, it's cracking Karen up better than any joke I ever wrote for Game Theory. Best work of my life.
It is
making a mental error. All right, so let's go to the next one. 2758 icing on the cake is the title of this one. We had 4 comments. Mary says, I'm so glad you do LGBTQ plus news. Just a comment on the rainbow socks and letting people know what you're about. As someone in recovery who attends 12-step meetings on Zoom, it was brought to our attention that at our meeting, a largely heteronormative space, there was an attendee who didn't feel too comfortable in our meeting. No hostility, just wasn't sure if it was okay to be there. They usually had the camera off and didn't get called on to share. So at that point, I started adding the she, her to my screen name just so they knew there was someone there who was with them and that it was okay to be there. It wasn't much, but I wanted them to know, I wanted the people at the meeting to know that it was important that we would be welcoming to all people with a drug alcohol problem. My husband joined, and at first he got ridiculed, but then those people came around. I think just like if you see people being openly gay and trans, it makes you think you can be also. Maybe when people see others acting with compassion, that can be catchy too. All this to say, wear those rainbow socks. Oh, and then the attendee was trans is what she put in at the follow up. Yeah, like I said, I never was questioning if I was gonna wear them or not. I was just more thinking how I don't feel like it's entering some sort of conflict to wear shit like that, you know. Like, to me is if anything is you know, I in my experience, like maybe somebody will throw a joke my way or something, but I've never done it to think to myself like I need people to know that I'm ready to fucking like kill somebody or die for this shit. But that's just because I wasn't thinking about it. In this polarized society, it could be something that simple because everyone got guns and motherfuckers are just killing people for stupid shit. And the motherfuckers with the guns are mostly these right-wing type, the ones that do this kind of thing, like randomly shoot somebody in public
right
over something like this. Seems to be right-wing people. Like, we don't really have a lot of counter examples of like, oh, somebody saw somebody with a Confederate flag and shot them. But we do have a lot of other examples of like, oh, somebody saw someone doing something that they felt was inclusive or too much diversity and shot up the fucking, you know, drag place or the gay club and shit. So
correct. And then, and this is one reason why when, you know, people be arguing and shit, I'm like, hey, when y'all talk about this, the violent people normally aren't on this side. They normally are on the other side.
Yeah. So anyway, I just didn't think about I'm entering into a conflict, but I guess I am. And yeah, I'm not going to change. It's not like I'm scared of the conflict. It'd be a like fucked up reason to be injured or hurt or whatever the fuck happens. But yeah, I mean,
hey, bitch, I like rainbows. Why I got to give them up? No.
Yeah. And honestly, the only real inconvenience I've ever experienced, and I wouldn't call it an inconvenience, but it's other people's homophobia trying to point it at me like, oh, you gay or something? Or, you know, that kind of dumb shit. Which you know, that's like a child. That's like a fourth grader talking to me. You know what I mean? Like, I can't respect anybody that would say that anyway.
All right.
Tanya W42 says, as someone who has a turtle in their apartment, it's my man's son's pet, which he didn't take when he moved out. I can attest that they are filthy creatures. Cleaning a turtle tank will give you that impression. LOL. I can't even imagine kissing or cuddling a turtle. Yuck. I know. Ugh. Like, I don't get it. Honestly, dog, I don't get any of the outside animal stuff that's not like, because like with a pet like cat or a fucking dog or something, there's like a whole industry set up to make sure that motherfucker ain't gonna kill you. You know?
They get shots and all types of stuff. You have to, you know, you get them chipped. Like you say, it's a whole thing around them.
But like some people literally just bringing the outside animals in the house. Like, one, like the animal want to be in there,
right?
But then two, like they don't got outside animal shit. You know, like we wasn't designed to be just like kissing up on raccoons and shit. That's not what are you doing? Why are you playing like that?
Come on.
Appia says, Pete Davidson, I would at this point think that his fans are mostly female, that they come to see the show, see if he lives up to the hype. Well, he's not pulling out his dick, so I don't think that's what's happening. I when we went, it felt like a pretty mixed crowd. A lot of couples, actually.
It was a lot of couples.
I'd say the average age was like maybe 30. But yeah, it definitely wasn't like it wasn't a like oh my God, let's see if Pete Davidson's gonna do it for me situation. At least from what I could tell with the audience.
Yeah, and it wasn't a like super young crowd. Like, right, you say everybody, like you say, 25, 26, 30 and up. Because the biggest reason why we know because they checked everybody IDs basically.
Well, that just means you're over 21.
Okay.
So we could have came in there and it could have been like a frat house, and you're like, oh, everyone here is fucking drunk as hell and 22 years old.
Right.
It wasn't like that at all. It was like pretty reserved crowd, pretty like middle of the road. The only thing I would say I noticed for sure is just not a lot of black people. So I don't know, but when I said this, a friend texted me to be like, I'm one of his fans. So, maybe he got a lot of black fans. I just they don't really be repping like that or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're not down here. Like he might go to other parts of the country and it's a little different.
Yeah. So, but I don't know what his fan base is exactly, but maybe that's also how it works. That's how you get big. People don't know. Let's see. Comments on YouTube for icing on the cake. None for this episode. On Spotify, well, we had the polls, of course. Jack Black seems like a pretty cool guy, right? 93% of people say yes, 7% say nah, something's up. And on Spotify, 90 and 10. So most of us think he seemed like a pretty cool guy. Stop cuddling with turtles was the Q&A.
Please do.
Typhlosion says, I love turtles. Never. So I guess I love turtles. I'll never stop cuddling with them.
I would never do that.
I would never cuddle with them. I can't tell which one
I think I never cuddled with them.
Kisha says, them turtles want to stay in their shells. James says, you don't want to cuddle with those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Leash says, nasty white folks. Jesus. Alicia says they have a shell. The species develop a whole ass barrier to prevent cuddling. Take the hint, damn it. Right.
and depending on the turtle, snapping turtles, them turtles will fuck you up. Leave them animals alone.
They literally have boundaries on their back.
Right? And they will go into it.
They're like, respect my boundaries. And only humans will be like, no, I'm gonna cuddle with you. All right, the next episode is the last one for the week. It's episode 2759, Fire Festival 2. Lotus Flower says, hi Rod and Karen. Now this one we got long feedback for a couple things because we talked a lot about the parents and the kids cutting each other off and stuff. But anyway, hi Rod and Karen, just wanted to reach out regarding the article you covered on preeclampsia. Karen had asked if preeclampsia is specific to pregnancy, and the answer is yes. It's a pregnancy condition, and unfortunately at this time, the only cure is to deliver the baby so that it doesn't kill the mom and or the baby. I'm currently pregnant with my second child, due in 2 weeks. I had preeclampsia with my first child. When I was 30 weeks pregnant, I was diagnosed, and I knew it was serious when my nurse practitioner grabbed her monitor to listen to the baby's heartbeat, took a big sigh of relief when she heard the heartbeat. At that point, she had me come in a few times a week to monitor, and at 32 weeks, the doctors sent me to the University of Iowa, where I was told they needed to deliver the baby or it could possibly kill both of us. University of Iowa is one of the top neonatal hospitals in the country, so I'm glad my doctor's office sent me there. They were able to get me to 34 weeks safely, where they delivered my first child 6 weeks early. He's now 4 and doing great. I'm currently being monitored for preeclampsia in this pregnancy, but luckily no sign of it left with 2 weeks to go. Oh, cool.
Yeah, and the thing, talking to and being around pregnant people, I learned a lot of shit you can only get during pregnancy. And it's wild though. You like, oh, you don't get this no other time. They're like, you don't get this no other time. This is specifically pregnancy. There's a pregnancy. There's a certain types of diabetes you don't happen when you're pregnant. A certain type of virus that don't happen when you're pregnant. You're like, well, goddamn. People act like pregnancy is this simple process. It's like, well, bitch, that there's certain things that, and the thing is, going through that process, some people don't know until the doctor tells them. Like, there's no instructions on pregnancy. No matter what people tell you, you don't know until, the doctor talks to you and things like that. So it's one of those things where kudos to the people that, have children and continue to have children, because that shit is something else when you realize, oh, I'm only getting this quote unquote disease because I'm pregnant.
I'm also seeing a high risk OB because I know the rates of maternal death when it comes to Black women with complications. I'm happy that they now have a test they can catch it earlier, but they still have no idea what causes preeclampsia or any other cures besides delivering the baby. I hope with time and more research they're able to find more alternatives or a way to prevent it from happening, especially with the gap in care and diagnosis when it comes to Black women. After I posted this, I saw how long this was. Sorry, just wanted to share my experience and the importance for Black women to be aware during pregnancy. This time around, I'm much more knowledgeable than before. Without no apology needed.
Yeah, and that's normally how it goes. And, and particularly, being Black and brown, you kind of have to fight more, because you hear situations on how women go to the doctor and tell them things they're not believed, and it's a whole mess, and things like that. We have a higher probability of us dying through the process and things like that. So yes, you have to be very vigilant and be on top of those things. And particularly if you somebody going through the process for the first time, I know that has got to be a scary and frightening experience.
Yeah, I think we're scared for a good reason, and I think that any knowledge you can share, people are gonna want to know. I think you sharing your experiences is it might be somebody listening to this that's like, okay, cool, I need to be aware of this. I'm gonna get tested for this, or I'm gonna make sure to stay on top of this and all that stuff. So thank you for writing in.
Right.
Black Sea. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm about to say, right. And there's also one of those things, like a lot of things that happen. People have a tendency not to talk and not to share their experience for various types of reasons. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, like Roger said, your experience can literally help somebody else, because there's a things that I went through in life, and I wish somebody somewhere would have sat down versus act like, oh, just have a baby, and that's kind of the end of it, and don't talk about all the other things that come along with it. And truth be told, a lot of people aren't truthful about pregnancy and parenting and all this types of stuff. People are like, oh, just have it and think about it later. But sometimes shit ain't that simple sometimes, and a lot of times, for most people, not all, for most people, if most people really sit down and thought about it, like actually analyze it, erase the feelings and all that stuff that comes along with being intimate. If most people sat down and thought about it, a lot less people would have children. And a lot of them are having it because financially they can't afford it anymore and things like that, and people act like there's something wrong with you for making that decision. But a lot of times, people are finding out the truth. They're asking, they're digging, they're researching, they're finding out, is this something that I actually want to do? And I ought to have the right to do that.
Black Caesar says, what's good, Rod and Karen? I'm in the 25% of people who are estranged from a parent. I had the type of relationship with my mom where I consider her my best friend. She was also the type of mom who loved being a grandmother to my kids. We ended up having a falling out over an incident involving my son, so she cut off ties with all her grandkids to be spiteful. I wasn't upset. It was well within her right, but why did the other kids have to catch strays? What she failed to realize was that I was an adult and fully capable of matching the same energy, so I also cut ties with her and the rest of the family. In my family, if you have beef with the head matriarch, then you beef with everyone until you apologize, even if you're not at fault. I'm an adult with a support system that reaches beyond family ties. We haven't spoken in years. She occasionally passes messages to me through extended family and mutual friends, but again, I'm an adult and I value my peace of mind above being in a potentially traumatic situation for myself and my kids. I just keep my responses short and respectful and keep it pushing. I don't hate my mom, but I have no intentions of mending the relationship at this point because God forbid me or my other kids do something she disagrees with, and we're back at square one. Plus, she's heavy in the church and to honor thy mother and father, even if they're shitty people with a splash of homophobia. I'd just rather not have her influence my kids, especially my queer teenage daughter. Y'all be cool, and thanks for all you do.
And the thing about it, a lot of times, just experiencing life and experiencing people, parents and can be narcissistic and have narcissistic traits. And it's very hard for people to deal with it because it's your parents versus a sibling versus, all these other things, but you could just automatically cut it off and you don't feel the same thing. But when you're dealing with like a parent or a parent dealing with a child, it's very difficult. And the thing is, a lot of times those people, they will use anything as collateral damage to get to you. So that's why, your mom didn't really care, because the children were like, okay, it's less about them and more about you. So if they have to suffer the consequences of me not dealing with you, it is what it is to that particular person. And it's very hard to explain that and talk to people who've never actually dealt with somebody like that, have been around people like that, or understand their tactics and their reasoning. There's like, but this is illogical. We can always repair it. For some people, you can't. For some people, the bridge is burned and the bridge just have to stay burnt.
For me personally, I don't know your full situation. I don't know these people. I think people are writing in anecdotally, and of course, you're gonna give us your side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the fuck happened, and I don't really care to know. If these are your boundaries and you find it to be healthy and affirming, then good for you, and I'll just leave it at that. But I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what your son did. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. And a lot of people's family issues are very specific to a bunch of history they have with each other. So I'm not gonna come and say, something's wrong with your mom or something's wrong with you or whatever. I think everybody is hopefully doing the best they can to get by for themselves, and I'll leave it at that. EV says, I think so many people are estranged from their families these days because therapy isn't as a big a stigma as it used to be, and people had the tools to recognize and deal with childhood trauma, and sometimes that means cutting off your family. People are realizing that not all family wants the best for you and doesn't always love you the way a family is supposed to. That being said, I do think a very small percentage of people who cut off their families just grew up to be assholes and don't deal with the family simply because they can't be bothered. It happens, unfortunately, but 9 times out of 10, people have valid reason for cutting off family members. Yeah, see, I have no idea. I think a lot of that is up to your personal belief system and your personal history. Because here's the reason I'll say this. Because we know other people our age. And we know motherfuckers that we're like, that person's an asshole and just wrong most of the time.
Correct.
And if that person were to be like, I cut off my family, I wouldn't be like, well, clearly the family is the dick here. Maybe they are. Maybe that's the reason you grew up to be a dick. Or maybe you're the fucked up manipulative one. I don't know. And I don't really want to know. I don't care. I care about my family and my life. And if you're that kind of asshole, I'm normally not kicking with you anyway. And if you're not an asshole, it wouldn't matter if I knew what the fuck happened with your family or not. I only care about that shit with my friends and shit. In general, I have not done, and I don't know how you would even do this research, because I'll give you a good example. It's like this. If you've ever talked to someone who's breaking up in a relationship, they're going through a divorce or something, it's your friend or whatever, it's your person that you know, so they give you their side of the shit. But if you sat down with the other person, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna have some shit that you're gonna be like, well, yeah, they didn't tell me that. Right. Well, yeah, I can see how you would look at it that way. I just try to stay out of that kind of shit, because for the most part, people can only see what is happening to them and not themselves or how they contribute to things. A lot of people have conflict resolution skill issues. And when it comes to parents and children, where do you learn your conflict resolution? Where do you get that first cycle? So a lot of times the apple don't fall far from the tree because the apple don't have a choice in being what tree is born to.
Right.
So, a lot of times it's the parents kind of reaping what they sow, where it's I don't deal well with conflict resolution. I have a child that don't deal well with conflict resolution. And so now we don't fuck with each other or whatever. And that could be it. It could be shits. Every once in a while, somebody just has a fucking kid that's born and they're a narcissist. Or they might have borderline personalities. There's just a lot of shit we don't know. So I don't feel too comfortable in the broad sweeping things. When we were having the discussion, I think that was why we ended up kind of making a full circle with the discussion.
Correct.
Well, I'm okay, I can see, hopefully it's the latter and people are learning boundaries and stuff, but it could also, it's the former and people are learning boundaries, but it could also be that thing where some people are manipulative. Some people are learning manipulation from social media and exercising that shit in the real life. I don't really fucking know.
There's a lot of different factors. That makes sense.
On a lighter note, it's another win for a big Arby's. Subway is very lucky to be bought by them. Arby's has the meat. Now, see, that's a toxic relationship. That's a toxic relationship your ass need to cut off, okay? You need to learn how to have some boundaries. How I'm going to believe the first thing you said about it's just people learning therapy, and then you're going to say some shit like that at the end where I'm well, clearly you the one that need the therapy. Abia says, Tiffany Haddish has also teamed up with Arby's in his ads. I hope she got paid right. I'm sure times are hard with the strike. Yeah, if Tiffany Haddish did that, then I believe she actually did everything she was accused of. Obvious says, by the way,
I don't.
By the way, I met some new black people. Okay, let's see where this is going. I met some new black people. We were on vacation in the Netherlands, and the kids wanted to learn archery. It's a complex with houses, and you can also do activities here. I thought we would learn it the right way, but it was a game where we had 2 teams with 9 people each. We got helmets and rubber arrows, and we had to shoot at a thing first and later at each other. Many people in the other team were black. So you learned what you met black people, and the first thing you did was shoot bows and arrows at them.
Because they want to learn archery.
We had also black people in our team, but this is not the point. My point is my contact with black people was me shooting at black people with arrows. Many of them were kids. So Karen, I think you owe me an apology because you tried to explain it to me, and then she said exactly what the fuck I said. So I don't know why you was trying to. I know you thought you had her back somehow, but she said what I said. Great. The upside, I was very bad at it, and the children also shot at me. And everyone seemed to have fun, and the other team won, and we all had perfect protection on. So success, I guess. I mean, as long as the black people won, that's really all I'm in it for.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So I'm not even gonna hold you with that. I personally don't root for white people in violence against blacks, even if it's for fun.
You not woke. Wakanda, everybody had guns.
So
continue my routine of just voting and rooting for all the black people.
I do. Let's see comments on YouTube for this episode. Fire Festival 2. One comment, heart emoji from the home I create. Thank you.
We like heart emojis.
We love the heart emojis. We love. All right.
We do.
The poll: are you estranged from a parent? 34% of our audience is, 65% is, 66% isn't. 31% on Spotify, 69%. So almost the same. Basically, 1 out of every 3 for our poll. And I think the study, it was 1 out of every 4. So 1 out of every 3. Like I said, man, I get it. I think there's a lot of reasons for it, and I just I have no judgment to pass either way. I don't have any platitudes or I just hope, I just think that if you talk, I don't know y'all parents. I know shitty adults of all ages.
Yes, sir.
So I don't be knowing. I really, really don't even want to know. Don't care. Don't even, because it's a thing that you care about because it's your life in a way that I never can truly match. I can be supportive.
Right.
But I don't know what I'm really supporting. If I'll be like, yeah, man, don't talk to him. And then I found out the other side to be like, well, he shot his mama. I'll be like, well, oh, okay. Well, damn, no wonder she don't want to talk to the nigga. Like,
right.
He didn't tell me that part. So I just, good luck to everybody.
Good luck to you all.
The Q&A. Arby's is a drug laundering business. Our boy Mike from Where's My 40 Acres says 100% that's a cartel operation. Dan says $9.6 billion. I want Merrick Garland to hire someone to investigate this drug beef laundering crime. Arby's and Subway's math isn't adding up. Exactly. And what I worry is that they'll do something to Merrick Garland. Quee Taylor says, does a rooster crow? Hell yeah, they pushing that weight. Right. Pusha T is rapping on the goddamn commercials. Aaron says they had the meats and the cocaine. Exactly. Jay Adamo says previously, how did the taser become the official weapon of the show? We know the story about bullet ball, but not the taser. It was easy. We did so many articles about cops shooting black people that at some point we said, man, I'd rather them just taser me. Like, why? What happened to the taser? Y'all have guns and y'all keep killing us. What? Don't you have a whole fucking taser that you could just be deploying that would incapacitate a person enough for you to arrest them? And I don't understand why y'all go to the guns. For us, we've seen so many fucking videos of y'all shooting white people with tasers, and no matter how dangerous the white person is, y'all be trying to work it out. When y'all gonna work some shit out with us?
Yes, if we rather you tase us than shoot us. That's how the official weapon became the taser.
Yeah, it was pretty simple. But now, of course, it's the folding chair.
And hopefully I will remember, but I doubt it.
Sean 21 says, we all know this. I'll still be going there for my seasoned curly fries. JB says they're strong arming the other fast food restaurants. And Roger says, but do they have a weather machine? I'm not getting into that. Who is they? Okay. I'm not getting into that. I'm smarter than that. I know not to talk about that.
You know better.
Okay. I've seen what y'all did to Jamie Foxx.
They
Y'all ain't getting me.
Trying to get you.
All right, let's get to the next segment. For the gram, 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 for the gram for the gram. No, I'm supposed to play the short version. I forgot to download it. All right, let's get to doing it for the gram.
Yeah, I seen that you put it in 2 spots this time.
I didn't mean to. It just did it.
Ah.
So, congratulations, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so doing it for the gram. I put it, actually, no. I'm sorry. I put it in 3 spots.
Okay.
2. So I did to do 2 of them. One of them I put on Twitter, just on our Twitter account, and a couple people answered that. Then I put it on Instagram, and I guess because of my Instagram setup on my phone, it shared it to our Facebook page. So I'm gonna read them all.
Yay!
But here is the Instagram one. It's a picture with us, new drawing that looks like the Outkast Stank on the cover. Mm-hmm. I'll try to get these on t-shirts or something soon.
Yay! I like that.
What is the pettiest reason you stopped talking to someone? Is the Q&A. Or the doing it for the gram. Champagne Bay XO says they didn't tell me happy birthday. That's pretty petty.
Yeah, that is.
Birthdays do be important to people though, but I'm not one of them people. So it's always interesting because me not doing it big for your birthday has nothing to do with you normally. It's just I don't do it big for my birthday.
Yeah.
So it's last thing that crossed my mind is that I like to be like normally you almost have to miss a person like this. You almost have to miss their birthday, and then they get mad about it for you to be like, oh God, I have to celebrate this every year because this nigga gonna get mad.
Chaboo is because for me I'm like because the thing is I give people mostly the same energy that they give me. I'm not big, and half the time I don't remember nobody's birthday. So, and I don't expect people to remember mine. So, I don't take it personally because not everybody, but a lot of these people that go hard on their birthday, y'all ain't remembering nobody else's birthday half of the time.
You just got to get in where you fit in. I like some of them do celebrate birthdays and stuff and make a big fuss over it, But anyway, someone said Patriot fans. So they got rid of people because they root for the Patriots. That is petty. Mm-hmm. They voted for Trump. Friendship done. I don't find that to be petty at all.
Me either.
Chalice.
That's very valid.
Chalice says someone hired another violinist over me during COVID. Yeah. Is that petty? I
don't think that's petty.
Isn't that how you make your living, Chalo? Or is that?
Yes. That's valid.
I would stop talking to that person, I think. Intels a 1984 says I stopped talking to a former friend because they were anti-LGBT and yet fetishized me. They also expected to have been invited to witness my whole ass wife and I get married, something they also didn't agree with. Petty because I never gave an explanation. I just went ghost. Oh yeah, I was gonna say because I didn't find anything you said petty. I think if it's rooted in just how you are, how you show up in the world, ain't nothing more vital than I need you to support that. So
right,
you saying I don't fuck with you. I hate gay people, but damn, I love you. You look great. That's some wild shit to me. Cherie So Sweet says he wouldn't take his shirt off at the pool. That is pretty petty.
That's petty.
He could have been a never nude. You never know. I am
could have had an innie or outie. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. You just threw that person in the trash. I am Tiffany. Cherie says she got mad I was losing weight without surgery. She stopped talking to me and didn't fight for the friendship. Oh, and I didn't fight for the friendship.
Yeah, child. Yeah, sometimes it ain't worth fighting.
Listen, I will absolutely let you cut off the friendship and me be like, okay. Like if that, like I'm a Libra, I will return the energy. You know, if you stop fucking with me, I really don't even really need a reason. But if you stop fucking with me, I'm like, okay, I guess that time has passed, you know?
Everybody ain't meant to be in your life forever. Okay.
And if you're not willing to communicate exactly what's going on,
Right,
to me, it's like, well, how good was the friendship anyway? Because if I had an issue with somebody, I'd tell them, or literally I just realized at that moment, fuck, I guess we're not as close as I thought, because typically when I have an issue with somebody, I like to talk about it and resolve it, you know?
Right. And also, and even with the person with the birthday, it's one of those things where,
oh wow, you are stuck on this birthday. Go
I
ahead.
am. I feel
someone's triggered.
I feel personally attacked.
What is going on?
My bad.
I don't. It's not me. I don't celebrate. I don't really do it big for my birthday like that. So I don't know who it is that you're thinking about. But go ahead. You had more to add. No, take us back to the birthday, Karen. You was gonna talk about. I'm sorry, I made a joke, and then you want to abandon it. But what were you gonna say? It's your show too.
No, what I was gonna say about the birthday, that also goes to communication, because like I have family members, they actually take that shit like really, really seriously. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, they tell me and communicate with me about it. You know, just don't quote unquote cut me off or get all of your feelings. And then you have, you know, not that this person did that, but you know, you don't express it. And then you get in your feelings and want to pout and huff and puff and complain to everybody when you didn't tell everybody how important this thing is to you.
Okay. I just didn't want to. I don't even know if that's petty or not, but I like that energy. I don't think people should be in friendships they don't want to be in anymore.
Nope.
As I say, she asked me if I really believe that. Wait, as I say, says she asked me if I really believe that the earth is round. I told her it is, and it isn't a belief, it's science. She sent me an hour plus YouTube video about flat earth shit. Never spoke to her again. Listen.
Child, that's not petty.
Listen, okay.
Don't be sending me no bullshit.
Reclaim your time.
Yes, child. I don't be reading no links. I be like, child, boo. I got other things to do.
Yeah, and the thing that made it extra disrespectful was the hour plus length. You think it's gonna take me an hour plus to realize the world is flat? Just send me a picture of a flat earth. Like I know what a pizza look like. Just send me a picture of a pizza and be like, this the earth, and I'll be like, thank you for saving time. Please stop talking to me. But now I gotta watch an hour of craziness. No, who has the time?
I'm not doing that.
Okay, I don't even have time. I always listen to the voice notes my friends send. It's like, oh, this is 2 minutes. I got to get back to this one. Elise says he liked to toss salad. Sorry, I'm unable to kiss you, but to each their own, so no judgment. Yeah. Oh, okay. So he liked to eat ass, I guess. And you was like, how you gonna kiss me after eating ass? And I hear you. I guess the question would be, how soon? Like, is it is it ass to mouth, or is it like he eat ass, but then like 3 days later after he's brushed his teeth several times and he kissed you on the mouth, you'll be like, I can't forget you ate ass that one time. So I mean, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, the real freaks will find each other. Okay?
They sure will.
Somebody's snowballing somebody right now listening to this podcast. For all we know.
And they like it. I love it.
Miss LDR says, I was headed off to college and one of my homeboys had my Rude Boys CD and wouldn't give it back. I was hot. We made up later though. Rude Boys. Hold on. How old is this? Because I feel like written all over your face was motherfucking.
I'm about to say that was
1990. God damn.
I was about to say that sound old as shit.
As soon as you said CD, I knew it was a long time ago. But
right.
Rude Boys. That's a time.
I'd have took that personal too. That was a bop.
Yeah. I remember I took somebody's House of Pain cassette tape on the last day of school, and it was so stupid. I don't know why I took his tape. I never listened to that House of Pain tape. Not once. I don't know why I took it. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. just stupid in 8th grade. Just stupid as fuck. And mean. Just mean. It was mean. It was wrong. If I ever find that kid, I owe him a House of Pain tape. Layla says they keep, yes, present tense because they haven't gotten the message, sending me dumb conspiracy theories videos from some of the iconic people you recognize during Black History Month. and queer and trans antagonistic stuff. When I called them out on that stuff, they insisted they weren't homophobic because they don't fear or hate them. Oh yeah,
Child, that's not petty either.
Not petty. No Drama CC says old roommate said Carrie Hilson was better than Beyonce. Ain't talked to us since 2010.
That's valid.
I want to say it's not petty. It is kind of petty, but also I agree with you, and you don't need that in your life. Okay, you don't need them people in your life. What are those people bringing? What do the I hate Beyonce people think they bring to? Not even I hate, but what are the people that downplay Beyonce? What do they think they bring into life? You're not bringing nothing to life at the table. We don't want to be around y'all either,
right?
So, like, do everyone the favor and leave us alone. Keep it to yourself. DJ Java says this is a hard question to answer because most of the people I don't talk to anymore is because they did or said some ignorant, racist, or homophobic shit. The other people are family members who, for my own mental health, I had to stop talking to. So I don't think I've done it for a petty reason, but I'm sure the people I cut off think I was petty as hell. That is true.
Valid.
I've dealt with that before. Because of the way their moral system is made up, they think my shit is petty. Because they thinking to themselves like, but he not gay, so why he mad? I'm saying stuff like, yeah, it probably do seem petty to you, but I don't want them people in my life. Brilliant 609 says he bought us Mexican food. I got tacos. There was an extra taco and I took it. We're eating. He finishes his food, and while already grabbing my extra taco, he asked if he could have it and started eating it. Not kind of petty, but not really. That's a sign, sis. Okay, because if he was that type, he was doing that. He was gonna be that way about other stuff.
Yes, sir.
Miss Barnes says I saw a Facebook post that one of my coworkers made about respecting people's rights to express their opinion, and if a friendship is canceled over that, so be it. I go on her page to see that she posted a picture of her and her husband the day before the election 2020. This dude had a huge tacky ass Trump hat and equally tacky Trump shirt. I was like, noted, and unfriended her ass quickly.
I don't blame you, baby.
Yeah, Trump not petty to me. Not fucking with Trump voters ain't petty. This nigga tried to overthrow the country.
Right.
I had a friend, quote unquote, acquaintance. I played basketball with her, and we became Facebook friends. And I remember one day Facebook algorithm was like, showed me something she posted, and I was like, I went down the rabbit hole of going to her page because I was like, that's an odd thing that she posted, and she's a QAnon person.
Oh no!
See, unfriend.
You got to go.
I don't need to know that bad, sis. Impressively Splendid says a friend and I were arguing over who the better rapper between Andre 3000 and Big Boy is. It's not that I think that either was better than the other. I just felt like she wasn't giving Big Boy his props as a rapper. It got heated. We stopped talking for a while. LOL, so silly. It is silly, but it also, I get it. I love hip hop, and I also feel like the Big Boy slander got out of control at some point.
It did.
Like, if they really act like he was just a nigga in the group.
Right.
Like, what you mean? And he has like solo shit that's dope. I'll never forget that Kryptonite, people just be talking. Black Widow when I want her says, I stopped speaking to my grandma over a beating she gave me when I was 5. She beat me pretty bad over a cup of yogurt my uncle I could have while she was watching me. Said I could have while watching me. She didn't reprimand him at all, but tore the fur off my hide. She passed. We never reconciled. I don't speak to the uncle either. And that was 40 years ago. I guess you're saying it's petty because of the length, but I feel like, I could see how that would not be petty. I just think I was, whatever that is, I don't have it. Like, I got whoopings when I was a kid, and I got, occasionally you might get a whooping where the person was wrong or didn't apologize and shit, but I definitely did the thing that you're not supposed to do in the Twitter days of being like, fuck it, grandma made a mistake and still love her. You know what I mean? So
Twitter was trash, throw them away.
But I can see how you would think it was petty because it's been 40 years, but I don't know. It don't seem that petty to me. Film Wanderer says 2010, I was on a date with a woman. She was 10 years older than me. She was 32. I was 22 at the time. We were at an Applebee's. I forgot what she ordered, but anyway, we were talking about things and seeing how deep, how deep this goes. And along the way, she mentioned mid-conversation she's seeing someone. She even had an engagement ring on. My heart might as well have fallen out my chest. We leave. I said something about the relationship on Facebook, and she texted me if that post was about the night prior. I said it wasn't. Honestly, it was. And she asked me if I loved her, which I was like, after what happened, I told her no. She asked why. I was like, because at night, and we really weren't close to anything, especially if you're already engaged to someone. So I stopped talking to her. Interestingly enough, she called me about 5 years ago. She said it was the wrong number. If we did talk, I'd shut it down like Tom Brady game winner. I regret nothing, pretty woman. I don't think that's petty at all. She had a whole fucking relationship.
Right, you was like, the fuck I'm doing here then?
Also, I mean, maybe she had an open relationship and she didn't tell you, but it is something I feel like you should tell people if you are engaged and still dating, because I need to know that person knows, because people that find shit out like that kill people.
Yes, they do.
You know, like.
So it'd have been different if, you know, they'd have been like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, just telling me out the blue and that person may or may not know.
Went out for pizza with dude. He ordered 3 slices. I reached for one. He slaps my head talking about they were all for him. I didn't speak to him the rest of the date or ever after again.
Yeah, goddamn right. You know what I would have did? Order my own pizza and be like, the fuck am I doing here?
First of all, slapping somebody's hand is on a first date. That's crazy to me. Don't touch me. No violence. Now, if you don't want me to have your pizza, let me put it this way. Let's say I ordered 3 slices for myself on this date, and you lied and said, I just want the salad or some bullshit, and then you took one of my slices of pizza. If I was mad about it, that's an internal madness I go to my grave with. Because I don't need you to know that I'm cheap and petty and mad and greedy. I don't need you to know all that. That's a lot to learn on the first date.
Ain't it though?
So I would just be like, oh, maybe I'll make a joke. Oh, so you did want some pizza. And I'll order another slice if I have to. But I'm definitely not slapping your hand. What the fuck?
Like I'm a child. What else is you gonna slap?
And then probably want to have sex after. That's crazy.
But you gonna smack my hand over some pizza.
Mr. Span says, don't know if it's petty, but I stopped fucking with one of my boys when I saw they allowed someone to talk shit about me and gave no real pushback. Like, damn, homie, you letting that slide? Let me move around then. Yeah, I don't think that's petty. You know, I don't think that's petty. I think also, like, as a person that's been in a situation where like 2 people didn't like each other and maybe they would shit on each other, it is a complicated thing, because like you don't want to deny their experience to the point of being like, hey man, this person's a good person and everything you saying is some bullshit. But you also don't want to me, if I'm friends with that other person, I'm not going to sit up there and just completely be like, yeah, oh well, you know, I'm normally going to be like, well, that's not my experience. But also, if that's your experience, I understand. But hopefully it's a misunderstanding or something, like, you know, like I'll try to throw a little something, but yeah. But also it could be you find out y'all not really that close and that person just was like, yeah, fuck Span too. I don't know.
You never know.
No Drama CC says his name was Elmer. That's pretty petty.
Like Elmer Fudd.
It don't matter. It's petty because you don't pick your name.
I know.
So his parents picked his name. It's like saying I'm not friends because this motherfucker spelled Jeff with a G. Jeff didn't do that. His parents did that.
Right.
Bootleg and Boosie says, because I was too far along in the friend zone. I did shoot my shot though, but was declined like a black person applying for a new business loan.
Oh no.
Well, at least you shot your shot. I always think the friend zone thing is interesting because it's just about being scared of rejection. And if you just get it over with and say, listen, I'm not here to be your friend. I really like you and I would like to romantically be with you. And then the person goes, I don't want that. And you go, okay, well, we can stop pretending that I like doing things with you that aren't us dating. And I'm not talking about just fucking. I just mean romantically it's not going to happen. So peace. Chief Steve says, one day at the bar, a regular of mine who was super cool and tipped big walked in wearing a Real Madrid Spanish soccer team jersey, and I honestly acted like I never met him after that. Viva Barca! All right, sound like some soccer shit. I speak that. Sports beef. Heavyweight says and that is petty. That is petty. Heavyweight says they use too many of those acronym abbreviations. HRU. WBU, HBU.
Chad, I feel you on that one. Bitch, I'm not 12. Talk.
The acronyms don't even fit. I agree. I don't get the millennial acronyms. I don't even know if it's millennial. Gen Z, whoever's doing the new acronyms, I'm it just made me feel old because I don't know. They be like, HBU, and I'm like, what the fuck, HBU? I went to a HBCU. Were you trying to spell HBCU? And they're like, no, I mean, how about you? I'm like, those aren't the right letters for that.
Yeah, child. I remember the first time somebody said BRB. I was like, what that mean? They was like,
that's not. But the same. BRB means be right back.
Yes,
but hold on. I mean, the letters correspond. Be right back. I'm not saying the acronym isn't confusing or you can't be mad.
Right.
I'm saying I'm trying to put you onto something. There's new acronyms. They don't even correspond with the letters.
Oh, they don't correspond with the phrase.
That's what I'm right. So you can't figure. You can't. It's not a. You can figure it out. Like the way they use them now, they don't all even. You can't even extrapolate what they mean. The abbreviations are different. These new niggas.
Child, kiss my ass. Use your whole words.
Yeah. So I'm not saying you can't be upset about BRB. I'm saying it's beyond BRB now.
Right. You said the whole phrase and you skipping letters and words. You're like, how the fuck am I supposed to figure that out?
I'm like, you made this a longer process because it took me longer to try to figure out what the fuck you talking about when you made this long. It was the point of an abbreviation is to make it short, like be right back. OMWH on my way home or something like that. I can get what those. I see the purpose of those. But if you saying like, I don't know, QMC, I'm like, I've never heard this in my life. And then when I do ask you about it, it's like, I don't know, quick, Emmanuel, hardcock or something. I'm like, what does this mean? They don't even match the letters. Like this, you just said that.
Yes, this right here don't make no sense. And like I said, there are some things where they're like, how I evolve and I change and I adapt, but there's some things I'm just old. Like when people talking about sending text, send me a big ass block. I don't want 45 individual bing, 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 bing. No, type, use sentences, use punctuations and shit like that. Like I use a period and I'm yelling at you, bitch, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, so I can get it. It is a petty reason, but I get it. For lying about eating my sandwich, not petty. Because they prove themselves they're a liar. Just because it's a sandwich don't make it petty. But you can't trust that person again. What if it was some money? Elbows on the table says a former friend made an anti-immigrant statement, so I responded by making an anti-him statement and never spoke to him again. Yep.
Anti-him statement.
Once again, not petty. He sang Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody to Me while we were on a date. Says Slang of Ages, Preston. That is kind of petty, but I need to know the quality of the singing, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it could be cute. Like, I can see somebody feeling like it's cute, but it could also be embarrassing because now you're the focus of something. Are they making a lot of attention, making a scene?
Right.
Also, can they sing? I mean, picking Whitney Houston is a high fucking bar.
Ain't it, though?
They farted in my dog's face on purpose. They told me that sneaking food to the theater was ghetto. That's just from the same person, Eve, who eats Arby's. So, I mean, he didn't cut his fingernails. Cinders7 says she took my Bobby Brown Don't Be Cruel tape and never gave it back. He was the damn king of R&B. Where's she at? I might still be mad.
Not the Don't Be Cruel.
This me and that dude with House of Pain. Dr. Plantania says this girl I used to be cool with refused to admit that she's eating McDonald's. I mean, who on earth hasn't at least had a fry? Yeah, what was she trying to do? Someone says I loaned someone some money and they didn't pay me back. It wasn't a lot of money, which is why I think it's petty. It was more about the principle. Well, ain't no such thing as petty cash, okay, unless you're a business. D-Thar GRT says we went on a date and she smelled like cigarettes and cat piss. I barely survived. That's not petty. I mean, someone not smelling well and you being around them, especially on a date,
right,
where you're supposed to try to impress somebody. I don't think that's petty.
Me saying
he sent a weird ass video of two rounds. One had his horn stuck in the other's last parts, and the girl was screaming and running. I immediately blocked him because his shares were getting progressively weirder leading up to this. Lady parts, not last parts. Stupid autocorrect. Yes, it impelled her V. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I hate when I find out that somebody is one of those type of people that sends me bullshit that I would never want to see.
right.
And yes, I will unfriend you.
Child, I ignore the fuck out of that bullshit.
Well, I remember being on Facebook and somebody sent a picture of somebody that had shitted themselves or something. I was like, yeah, I was like, why did you post this? What is wrong with you as a person? Like something's off with you that you think anyone would want to see this. And it was like supposed to be funny. Like this girl passed out and shit herself at a party. Ha ha ha. I was like, this is gross. And I don't even think Facebook's supposed to allow this. So
Correct.
Stay the fuck away from me.
Yes.
The Friday Fairy says a dude I was dating sent me a black and white pic of a naked white family lying horizontally stacked on each other. I was home with the flu and he offered to cheer me up. Then sent that pic. That was enough for me. Yeah, what is that? Child porn or some shit? What is that? What's funny about it?
But right.
She says, oh, someone said, I know what pic you're talking about. Hella disturbing, but the fact he thought it would cheer you up got me dying. I swear these men slow. It's Allison Birch says, my cousin borrowed $50 from me on the day. She said she was going to pay it back. She called me to tell me she was on her way to my mama's house to drop it off to her. This was 2010. She still ain't made her way to my mama's house. And I and I have nothing else to say since the end of that phone call. Best $50 I ever spent. Honestly, I'm with you. I don't think that was petty either. And then on Facebook, Appia says, I have nothing to offer. I'm not petty, but I can be annoying other ways. Don Tour says she texts every word that ends with a CK with a CC instead. Brina responded, she's a crip.
I can see that.
Yeah, I do. You know that stuff like thick, or you spell it with 2 C's instead of K. CK.
Right.
Cornelia says, a former friend of mine was trying to get someone fired for something they themselves would do. I can't trust them anymore. Yeah. Erica says he couldn't spell or use grammar properly. He used the word won't, W-N''T, when he meant want, W-A-N-T, and also said he had been single for 2 years but had a 6-month-old baby. I mean, that could be true. To be single for 2 years but still have a baby. It only takes one night. Stop talking to a friend because he was judgmental but entertaining a bum dude. Oh, she was judgmental but entertaining a bum dude. Well, yeah, that's life right there for sure. A lot of people do that one.
Yes, they do.
Derek says, my homeboy brother used to text me the word cum, C-U-M, instead of cum, C-O-M-E.
Oh, no.
I hated it every time. That is a lie. How he don't know? His autocorrect he just so freaky his autocorrect worked the opposite of ours.
He got a bunch of dick pics with cum and Apple was like, you know what? I know what you meant. Gotcha.
Iman says they wouldn't listen to my advice. Last straw was wanting to get pregnant by their boyfriend to try and make him stay. Jesus. I don't think that's petty. You avoided some problems.
Yeah, you like, Chad, I feel you on that one. It's like, it's one of those things where my word, and put like this, as somebody who is a talker that can fucking talk paint till it dries. I love to talk, bitch. My words are still precious to me. So when people ask me for advice and shit like that, depending on the relationship, I don't give it because a lot of times your mind is already made up and you're not engulfing me. And if you're the type of person like me, I don't want to care more about your problems than you. And bitch, if you don't care, the fuck I care about it for? Do. And I go about my life and let you have it. So I don't blame you.
T, who, remember Will that used to come on the show, his wife? Mm-hmm. T says, Will tried to teach me German and I almost used it in a meeting. Our trust was broken. I still haven't recovered. He knows what I'm referencing. He responded, my German was impeccable, and she was shaking my head. So I don't know what he told her to say in German, but must have been bad.
Must have been bad.
Terry says, a guy called me bougie because I cut my meat with a knife and a fork instead of stabbing it like a damn caveman. Yeah, I wouldn't talk to him either.
Me either. Let's be civilized.
Honestly, I almost don't talk to people over well done steak. I'm not that petty, but
don't be over here shaking the table.
It's close. If you start talking with too much authority on steak and you like your shit cooked to a fucking
tire
to a tire. Yeah, I'll be feeling the petty in me.
15 minutes, you still over there gnawing. Get out of here.
John said they listen to Kevin Gates. That's hilarious. The question is, listen to his music or listen to Kevin Gates? Because this nigga used to think he was a philosopher. He might still think that. Kevin says, I got a few. I used to be known as the king of petty, but the one that stands out the most would be the blind date that I was set up on. I showed up. She had a goiter on the side of her neck. She didn't appreciate it when I called it Gary Coleman, but it was just sitting there looking at me. Well, that just makes you sound fucked up and kind of ableist. So I wouldn't have shared that.
What is that?
It's like a bump or something. So Kurt says they kept bringing up, I mean, it is petty though. It is petty, and technically we did ask. So Kurt says they kept bringing up horoscopes. Oh,
child, ain't that with the signs? Yes, it's one of those things. As somebody who didn't grow up in that, like I poke and get into it, child. I didn't know my sign until I was a grown woman. I didn't grow up like that, so a lot of people be like, "What's wrong with you, child? Get out of here with that foolishness."
Charmaine says, "I got a text that says I'm bored, BOARD, instead of I'm bored, BORED." Or really, I'm an adult that can't keep myself occupied, so I'm relying on you to entertain me. I definitely am not a fan of the I'm bored text. Like, nigga, get a hobby. What do you call? I'm not a wind-up toy. What the fuck? Play a video game. What are you texting me? You're bored.
All right.
That's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Cinia
People
says,
want you to be their entertainment.
Cinia says he was 43 years old living with a roommate. That is petty. In these times, this economy, I feel like it's a lot more people rooming up than it used to be.
Ain't it though? And for longer.
So yeah, that's petty. That's a good one. Keisha says they don't like my mama. That ain't petty at all. Brina says first one, her voice was great and sound like a thing for me. Sound is a thing for me. Yeah, that's pretty petty because people can't control their voice. Second one, our first phone call vote was while she was running errands. I need our time, especially in the beginning, to be focused. Huge turn off. Yeah, those both are pretty petty to me. And I can understand the second one more than the first.
Same.
Lex says they regularly said conversate.
Not conversate.
William says they would read books with their lips moving, sounding words out. Another would smack loud as hell on cell phone. Damn. I mean, a lot of these are becoming indictments on the American education system, and I don't think people see it that way.
But yes,
I'm like, when y'all talking about typos and people not being able to read at a high level and stuff, a lot of this is just America. Tanisha says, one, we were really close and they subbed me on Facebook, instantly died in my head. Yeah, subbing on Facebook is like a pretty egregious violation for a lot of folks. Subliminally talking about them. So like, say me and you got in a fight about eating the cereal or something, and then I went on Facebook and was like, people that eat the cereal need to be slapped upside the head. You would know that's about you, but other people might not know who that's about.
Agreed.
So it's subliminal. 2, ask for me for my change after a casual hookup so that he could buy a burger, instantly died in my head. Yeah, I can see that. 3, an ex I was cool with bragged about bagging a woman with 2 adult daughters because his friend she was seeing kept bragging about how he cuffed her. Not only did my ex bag her upstairs at the party they were all at, but bragged about doing one of the adult daughters at the party the same night. I always felt like he was a hater, instantly died in my head. That one doesn't seem that petty to me. It seemed like you found out something.
Yes, you did.
About that person, the kind of person they are. But it was an ex, so maybe you already knew. 4, a new associate asked why me and someone else were friends. We're 8-year-old children asking why I shared my candy with so-and-so. I instantly died in my head. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the, like, I just met you. You need to pick me over this other person thing. I'm not a fan of that. And last one, I was invited to my birthday party, I was invited to my birthday party, did a no-show without RSVPing and didn't wish me happy birthday. I didn't kill them off, but I'm sick of people's shit. So I took someone else with me to the Janet Jackson concert without reminding them we were supposed to go together. That's pretty petty.
Come on, they looking and you were like, "What have you done for me lately?" Y'all just partying with Janet and shit.
Yeah, And SB Carter says they laugh too loud in public, like they like head back, mouth open, full throated laugh. I guess, was it Karen? Is this a sub? Is this subliminal about Karen?
Just at me next time, damn it.
And then someone just looked at the art and said, now I want to hear Rod and Karen do Outkast cover music.
Chad, no, you not me. I would be terrible.
Yeah, I don't think you really want to see that.
I would be horrible.
And the last one is Joy says, they pronounced the L in salmon. Pretty
Salmon.
petty. That's pretty petty, but also I hear you on that one. All right, that was it for doing it for the gram. For the gram. All right, let's get into these emails, and that's the last thing. No voicemails this week. Didn't get any. Believe this is either Quiana or Kiana who says, I'm not playing with y'all niggas. Roderick, not you about to cost me my goddamn job for screaming, listening to you play Gustav on Drape the Maniacs. Bruh.
That shit was good, wasn't it?
Bruh, I have tears running down my cheeks. These white people about to get me involuntarily committed. This DMX impression is spot on, nigga. I'm done. Thank you.
It was. And the thing about it, please go listen to it, y'all, because it'll catch you off guard because it literally just comes out of nowhere. You'll be like, what is happening here?
Yes. And then our girl Two Fish writes in,
Hey, Darren.
what's going on? She said, just a quick note to say this cover art with y'all as Outkast cover is dope. Yeah, we're going to put it on t-shirts. I got
Thank
y'all.
you.
I don't know if y'all want to buy it or not, but
It'll be out there.
Aaron writes in, hello, Rod and Karen. I'm a gay man currently in therapy working on issues with my parents. I would say we are a bit of strangers. I distanced myself from them once I went to college. 10 years ago, I distanced myself. Okay, once I went to college 10 years ago. Okay.
Right.
My parents do not like me being gay, and with therapy, I'm trying to have a better relationship with them and had the courage to speak my mind and establish boundaries with them, especially with topics on education, LGBT rights, abortion, etc. I feel like I have completely different views from them and don't agree on the same issues. I know the current trend on social media is to cut off your family, and a lot of my friends don't have good relationships with their parents, and they kind of flex it. But I know me, along with others, do not want to mend relationships with our parents and have a better relationship. And so I replied back to this person. I said, first of all, we're sorry you're going through this. As we talk more during the episode, we realize it's not all just one way or the other. That's why we say it's two different conversations happening at the same time.
Right.
Have you finished the episode yet? Don't want to spoil it for you. And he replied back, hey, Rod, yes, I just got through that segment, and thanks for understanding. I do agree that the situation is more nuanced and both sides of that conversation have valid reasons. And I said, we appreciate you for listening. Heart emoji. And that's basically what I was saying earlier was like, as we talked, I realized like it's just two things happening at once. Very valid issues on both sides, in that there is a push culturally to be like, cut off everyone who does not support any and everything you say and do all the time. And I always feel like that's a little bit scary and kind of a sham, because the internet people that say that don't actually support people all the time. They turn on people. Sometimes they support you in the horrible decisions, stuff like that. So I don't want to get so reliant on them. And that's kind of a cult religious mentality of, we need to isolate you from all the people in real life that might see your behavior and have an actual context for that behavior because they've known you your whole life, and be like, hey, are you okay? There's some things you're doing right now that aren't what you used to do. I just want to check in. So so people are promoting you to be isolated from those folks. But then there's the other very valid conversation of, some folks are learning what abuse is. They're learning what boundaries are. They're learning what toxicity is. And because they didn't have those things before, they used to think, I guess I just have to deal with a parent who is just fucked up, and that's just how it's supposed to be. And they're learning you don't. And so those are two different things to me.
Agreed. And like you said, that's what the nuance of the conversation, kind of came in, because like you said, we were both coming from like two different perspectives, but they both actually play a really important role into, why people do what they do on quote unquote both sides.
Right. Let's get back to the next one. Sorry, I got an alert. Some good news, Karen.
Okay.
Restricted free agent PJ Washington has agreed to a new 3-year deal, $48 million contract with the Charlotte Hornets. He's coming back, baby.
Woo! Come on, PJ.
We did it.
We did it.
Oh, man, finally. All right, sorry, y'all. It's just been stressing our marriage for years at this point. For months. We didn't know what we was going to do about PJ Washington.
We did not
It
know.
was out of control. All right.
I mean, the season's about to start. I was like,
Come
where's
on.
PJ?
We need PJ. Okay, ain't nobody else playing defending centers like at power forward like that.
Mm-mm.
Y'all not hitting threes like that. All right, ceiling fans. This is from Brian, who says, Rod and Karen, I just started listening to you guys about 2 months now and was waiting to have something relevant to comment on. Earlier this week, you reported on the increase in the number of small children being tossed into the air in the ceiling fans. That's a valuable tidbit of knowledge, as we know, knowing is half the battle. I think this trend is not due to increased stupidity of adults around tossable kids, but climate change. Think of it. Those fans wouldn't be on if it weren't so damn hot. That's a good
Right.
point.
Great point.
I'm a middle-aged white man and appreciate your thoughts. My favorite moment are anytime Rod says something that makes Karen say, oh no. I started appropriating that myself, and I think I'm seeming more empathetic. Thanks for all you do with the 3 to 4 podcasts a week. I do love your guests. Thank you.
Thank you.
We got a new guest coming up this Wednesday.
Yay.
We're going to have Fantastic Frankie on, who I've been on 4 All Nerds with. And can't wait to talk to her. She's awesome. Kiana says, back like I never left. Hey, y'all. First of all, I want to say that your girl bought a ticket to stream the live show. If I can figure out a way to get my ass to Charlotte, I will be there for the live show. But I cannot let another show happen and not support it. I'm so happy and proud of y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love to hear that.
We love to hear it. Person or virtual. We don't care. Thank you.
Secondly, y'all were spot on in the conversation about being estranged from your parents. I was born in the early 80s. Shout out to the old geriatric ass millennials like me. And like so many other people, my parents got caught up in drugs. It's hard to be present and clear-minded parent when addiction is whooping your ass. So me and my brother were raised for 9 years by my aunt. Because my parents didn't really parent me, the boundaries and roles didn't always look the way they needed to. I always loved them, but once I got grown, I didn't need mothering, and my mom, who was more sober at the time, didn't understand that.
Right.
She would constantly knock down boundaries I tried to set up, and at one point I told her that she couldn't just show up in my life any old kind of way because she was my mother. We didn't speak for a little over a year. My dad had been kind of hit or miss in my life. So at that time, we were cool, but weren't really close. I'm happy to say that we mended the fence. My parents moved in with me 5 years ago, and I got 2 years with both of them before my pops passed away in 2020. During that time, they got to really know me, and we were able to have some tough conversations. They both asked for forgiveness for not being there, and I accepted. I recognize how fortunate I am to have been able to reconcile with them. I also recognize how important those apologies were to my healing, and how so many will never be fortunate enough to receive apologies in a word or deed from the people in their lives who have hurt them.
Right.
Yeah, that's super deep and super. And I love how you like appreciate that, but also like it reminds me of how many people I know who they know that those apologies are never coming, or they don't, whatever. And so they have to move on because life moves on, time moves on. But you'll see people that have that kind of mentality of like, I don't need forgiveness and I don't need to apologize and it ain't gonna help me at all. And I always wonder how much of that is because it's just not coming. It's like if you knew you were gonna get that apology, or if you got that apology, if it would make you feel differently. Because I think, healing, forgiveness, apologizing, all that stuff there's a reason that it happens. Is because there is something to that. But at the same time, it's not the be all end all of everything. And I understand when people say, I don't need those things in order to heal and move on. Or I'm just not capable of being able to forgive this person, even if they do apologize. So what will be the value of their apology? But like I said, it's an interesting concept to me.
Yeah, and a lot of this varies from person to person. And like you say, people have varying types of relationships with it. And I said last Saturday, I would say this again. Parents need to see children as an adult, and children need to see parents as people. And once you get down to that fundamental thing, a lot of this blurriness and fuzziness will change, but it's really hard for both sides to see each other as equal, particularly once everybody gets into a certain age range. Everybody is adults. So everybody's accountable and responsible for their actions and what they've done or didn't do and things like that. And, and also, like Roger said, and this is, because of the internet, shout out to Donna Glover, for a lot of people, they have this mentality of, if I have a screwed up, not everybody, but percentage, if I have a screwed up and fucked up relationship with my family, you shouldn't have one either. And so I feel like a lot of people have a big campaign where they just go online.
Wait, can you say that again? If I have a screwed up relationship with my family, you shouldn't have one either? What do you mean?
What I mean is, if I've cut off my family for whatever reasons, good, bad, or indifferent than me, if I've cut them off, there's a contingent, maybe it's just me in the way I'm looking, there's a contingent of people who feel like you could just be going through something and it might not be to the point of quote unquote cutting it off, but they're real quick to jump in and just tell you to trash everybody.
Yeah.
Because
I wasn't challenging y'all. I wanted to understand what you meant.
No problem.
Because I see what you mean now.
Yeah, it didn't come, and that didn't come out right, but that's what I mean.
Yeah. You got
it. So you have to be aware on the internet when you're online of people that have a lot of anger, a lot of unforgiveness, and these things that they're dealing with. And they try to take whatever their solution is and push that solution on to you, which may not work for you, because there are some people that really want to forgive. They want to work it out. They want to go through the process. They don't want to just cut their family off. And a lot of those people that are on that side feel they feel like you are judging them, or you feel a certain way because maybe they have made a different decision, when it might not be that, because everybody's relationships might not come to a neat, closed conclusion. Everybody, sometimes, like you said, you might not hear the words. Sometimes, guess what? You have to make the decision that I'm going to shut this door, lock the key, and I've got to move on. And that right there might be a healing process for somebody else. Well, some people, they might not heal from that. And so it varies per person. And so I've realized, and I'm aware of that when I'm online, when you share certain things, how people respond to you and how they affect your mental capacity and how you perceive and receive people when they come at you from this campaign of, I don't forgive, I'm bitter, I'm petty, blah, blah, blah. And some people, they just stuck there and they will never grow past that point. And so you have to be kind of aware and alert. And I've just realized it's being online, aware and alert, because a lot of things online are negativity, and a lot of these things online do not function in real life. Some of these same people I'm talking about, if these people was to come and apologize, they would forgive them and move on. But online is fuck everybody, fuck your family, fuck my family, fuck, fuck, it don't matter. But, and that's not always true. There's some people that actually are seeking and actually want to get to a place of wholeness, be it I cut everybody off and I'm fine, be it I forgive everybody, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with either solution, but I think a lot of times a lot of people feel judged and they feel ashamed and they feel like it's something wrong with them, and they feel, but these are personal issues and personal things that they need to work out, that they push on a lot of other people online and on social media. This is something that I've realized.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I think, one of my reasons, one of the ways I just approach life is appreciating and respecting people's individuality in that way, and just understanding that a lot of stuff is not about me, and a lot of stuff is from the experiences they have, and so they've arrived to different conclusions. And I think, once you look at people like that, it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna be friends with everybody or you're gonna support everybody's decisions and shit, but it just gives you like a perspective of like, hey, if someone's parents did something to them that is horrible, they may have a completely different relationship with the idea of parenting and family than I do, and I respect and leave that alone. I'm not gonna start telling them shit that works for me. I don't have their experiences. As far as the BS that the state of Arkansas is doing with the school curriculum, right? You asked why they would want to not teach the white students about Black history. It's because they don't want. Oh no, I know why. No. I just thought it was funny because the black schools are the ones that are fighting to keep the curriculum in,
Right.
it seems, and they're the ones pushing back. I'm saying the white schools, I was rhetorically asking to make the point you're probably about to make, which is, well, how come none of the white schools ain't on this list of schools that are bucking the system and boycotting and deciding they're going to teach the kids anyway? It's because they don't want white kids to feel shame and discomfort. They've always been okay with placing on black students. They have never cared about how the lack of teaching of American history or the misleading of the history makes black kids feel, or Latinos or indigenous kids, or any kids except white kids. But those kids can't be gay, trans, non-binary because they don't deserve all the shame. Well, because then they deserve all the shame. Yeah, if those white kids are LGBTQ, all of a sudden they gonna catch it now.
Right.
And they can't be poor, not be able to afford school lunches, because then they deserve all the shame too. White people need to understand that white supremacy must constantly be fed, and once it has gorged itself on us, it will eat and consume them.
Yes.
It breaks my heart that the Little Rock Nine is having to come out of retirement and speak out about what is happening. Sarah Huckabee Sanders needs to be voted out ASAP. The school board and the people on the county levels that supported this too. Lastly, have you heard about the Ascot anti-Negro? Ascot anti-hero asshat Cornel West. Man owes $466K in federal taxes and $49K in child support. Ooh. Oh man,
I didn't hear that.
Ooh, I knew you owed some back taxes. I didn't know about the child support. That's super wild. You know who didn't owe $500,000 in debt? Obama. True, and neither did Hillary. She paid for all her kids. People act like he's the savior we need to get student loan debt paid off, and this nigga wasn't even paying child support. The fuck, Cornell? Anywho, love y'all. Bye. Well, here's the only pushback I got to what you just said is this. I do feel like that is the person who would have the most compelling reason to get rid of all the debt. Would be if Cornel West was president. He'd be like, listen, we need to get rid of child support debt, student loan debt, medical debt, pretty much any debt, federal tax debt. Nobody should pay no
Get
debt.
rid of all of the debt.
I'm forgiving everything. I know y'all can't forgive y'all parents. Well, I apologize on behalf of the United States. I forgive all the debt. Everyone's forgiven. Let's just call the whole thing off. Please stop blowing up my phone. Okay. He's gonna be the first one during the debate that had to answer his phone and be like, "Hold on, it's Citibank." Yes. No, I'm at a live debate. Can I call y'all back? No, I don't have the money right now. Well, listen, brother Citibank. Come on now. Brother Citibank. Brother Bank. This is very proliferous and prodigious that you would even hit me with these platitudes. Okay? I will rain fiery ones and hundreds upon down on you. Sorry. Last one is from Aaron, who says, "Hey, Rod and Karen, thanks so much for reading my email on the feedback show. I just wanted to respond quickly about one thing, which is tourism. Even though ideally Hawaii would not be illegally occupied by the U.S., at this point, they unfortunately rely heavily on tourism to keep their economy working. I've seen many people on Maui posting memes like the two attached, where they are asking people to come visit because they need money coming in. Thanks again for being amazing. Best, Aaron." And it's these memes that, with the exception of Lahaina Town, Maui is open. Be kind, be considerate, spread aloha. Another one says, "Maui needs you to visit. Our people and business need South Maui. Need you. South Maui is 100% open. Keep the reservations in Maui in 2023, September, October, November, December." So
yeah, I could see a lot of people, once this happened, just started canceling that stuff like left.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of social media pressure that is saying like, don't fucking come here. Mm-hmm. And if you come, like, people were taking people's pictures from their vacations and stuff from Instagram, being like, "Look at this, they went to Hawaii." This is so I've just decided like I'm scared. I don't want to get roasted on the internet for going and then find out that I was part of the problem or some shit. But I just figure if I go, I just won't fucking post it online, or if I do, I'll just have to I'll post these memes like they wanted us to come. But yeah, I think also it's that, social media religion thing where it's kind of like, we need somebody to send to hell. The people that went to Maui, y'all go to hell.
Right. People are like, I saved up and booked this 3 years ago.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We out of here. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later. Until next time, don't forget to get the live show tickets. They are in the They're right there in the show notes. Go ahead and get them, y'all. I'm gonna make a post today on our website about them. I'm gonna stick it to the front. So you go to Blackout Tips, the first thing you're gonna see is come to our live show. So make sure y'all do that. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.